Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. It's amazing what lights up our phones at 844-204-RICH. It really is. I'm looking over, and there's an argument over AC and Windows and things of that nature.
Take one
My
first
pants might be
before
down
DJ?
right now.
Is Daniel Jeremiah on the phone?
DJ's
right now?
on, yeah, we got him.
DJ, did you just hear that?
I was just informed. Law was kind of filling me in on the whole situation here. It's
yeah.
not good all the way around.
I'm sure it was unbiased.
Now,
Ben.
clearly, if you're wondering why Jared Goff was off last night in the Rose Bowl, perhaps he knew that Law had his pants down on the way to the stadium because he was afraid of having a swamp ass is, I guess, the technical term for it.
Has this
DJ.
been put in the form of a poll question about what the greater sin was here?
No, we're just having a call to action.
Well, I did just tweet it out. Who do you side with in pants down gate? Brockman windows down.
I don't know.
AC.
It could be Windows Gate because DJ, do you prefer the windows up and air conditioning or down when driving?
Well,
DJ?
look, once I turned, once I was 16, I liked the windows down. But then once I hit like 18, then it was pretty much a windows up, air conditioned environment.
All
To
right.
me, the whole aspect of this thing that I don't understand is okay. You're kind of calling Law's bluff with the windows down. But then once he does make the move that he made, I mean,
Strong
okay,
move.
you lost. It was a game of poker, a game of chicken.
Yeah.
He came through. Now you go, okay, all right, you did it. All right, windows are going up, the AC's coming on.
I mean, there's a photo. He tweeted out a picture of his bare legs, and those look like his winter legs because there seems to be some form of a sweater on them. And Brockman, he took a picture of Brockman. You were not pleased at all. I could
Not
see.
happy.
Because again, that's like the Seinfeld commando situation. There's nothing between the boys and the seat at that
Thin
point in
layer
time.
of gabardine.
That's
Rich.
it. It's just not right. I don't know which way to rule on this one. In the meantime, DJ, let's talk college football right now. Who is the best quarterback right now for the next level that you're seeing and that might be coming out soon
Well,
enough?
I just started watching Paxton Lynch this morning from Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So I've watched him, and again, this is the first game is against Bowling Green that I popped up. He is pretty interesting now. He is big. He's athletic. He's got kind of a long throwing motion, but he's interesting. But prior to watching him, I had Goff as the guy. All these guys are pretty flawed, though, Rich. It's not a clean group. You've got Goff, who's really had a couple tough weeks, although he did make some plays at the end of the game last night. Hackenberg, who's I don't think he has a lot of touch. That's my biggest concern with him. You've got Connor Cook, 3 years at Michigan State. He's never over 60%, which that's a troubling sign. So you can kind of poke holes in all these guys, and that's why it leads me to believe we could have somebody kind of come out of left field, so to speak, as we have with Paxton Lynch from Memphis.
What about Connor Cook in particular from Michigan State?
Yeah, you know what? He can make all the throws. He can throw with touch, which is something that's nice to see. Just accuracy-wise, he's been inconsistent throughout his career. So, there'll be a lot made about the fact that he's not a captain at Michigan State. People have to do their homework and dig in on that. But to me, you look at the schedule that they've played so far. I mean, it's not a murderer's row, and for him to be under 60% that's troubling.
Daniel Jeremiah joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. What do you make of Urban Meyer's move to J.T. Barrett?
Well, it seemed inevitable. I mean, just kind of waiting to see what would happen. I was, look, after what I saw last year at the end of the season of Cardale Jones, for him, for what we do, looking at these guys as next-level prospects, I mean, he's got everything, the size, the arm strength, the ability to move around a little bit. And he kind of caught fire at the end of the year with Devin Smith on the deep ball. And then this year, he just looks out of sorts. He's not in any kind of rhythm. The ball's just really gotten away from him. They've played way too many close games for all the talent that they have. And when J.T. Barrett's got in, when they do their red zone stuff, he's been very efficient. So it seemed like it was kind of a matter of time before they had to make that move. And not surprised that they elected to do that.
So what about Cardell's next level ability?
Now, look, he's always going to have value there because you know how it is, Rich. You've got these coaches that say, I can be the guy that can get this thing fixed because he has rare arm strength. I mean, he's got one of the bigger arms I've seen. So you've got size, arm strength, and he's shown he can do it over a small stretch of games. But look, he's still going to have value. It's not, I think it's probably in his best interest. Go ahead and come back to Ohio State now and just finish up your career and get some more tutelage there because it definitely took a hit from what it was at the end of last year to where it is right now.
Daniel Jeremiah joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm going to use the Chris Brockman parlance right here. How come more people like USC over Utah this weekend in the Coliseum with Utah being third overall and undefeated?
I don't get that one. To me, if you want to look at skill position players, yeah, USC's got a lot of ability. You talk about Juju Smith-Schuster and Dory Jackson and company, but where they've struggled is they've been pushed around at the line of scrimmage, and that's what Utah does, is push you around at the line of scrimmage. I mean, their defensive front can be dominant. You've got USC, who's going to be minus their left tackle. They're having to kick their right tackle over to left tackle this week. They got a true freshman starting at right tackle. They've already lost their All-American center. This does not, from a matchup standpoint, doesn't look good to me unless USC can somehow generate some turnovers on the other side of the ball, which they don't have much of a pass rush. They struggle to stop the run. I don't know, Rich. Somebody's way smarter than I am.
What do you make of the Heisman race right now? We all know about Leonard Fournette. We talked to David Shaw yesterday. Christian McCaffrey is certainly putting his name in that hat right now. Ed McCaffrey's kid. What say you on the subject?
Well, McCaffrey keeps doing what he did the other night with all the all-purpose yards, and they've got some. They have a big opportunity if they can get through the schedule here, get a big win over Oregon, and then get into a conference championship game and a showdown potentially against Utah. I think on that kind of a stage, if McCaffrey keeps rolling, he's going to definitely be in the mix there. But I don't think there's much doubt when you talk to people around the country, or you just watch with your own two eyes, that Leonard Fournette is the best player in college football right now.
So, DJ, you spent 8 years as an NFL scout. You know the Ravens organization inside and out. I mentioned when the Ravens were 0-3 that perhaps Steve Smith, saying that this is his last year, should the Ravens be out of it, entertain the idea of putting him on the block, or at least go up to him and ask him if that's what he would do. John Harbaugh said moments ago from a podium in advance of their game in Arizona that few people expect them to win. There is no chance of, and I asked about trading Steve Smith, quote unquote, there is no chance of that. I wouldn't part with him. But you know this organization. Do you think Ozzie Newsome knocks on his door and says, what do you think, Steve?
Well, it was interesting to me, the language that you just used there with John Harbaugh, because that's a decision that's Ozzie's. I'm sure, we'll see what happens. I assume they're probably going to lose this week, like you said, to Arizona.
That's 1-6.
Yeah, you're done. It's over. And I get, as a coach, you're trying to win every single game, and you're thinking in the now. But as a general manager, you got to think off into the future. So I think, what harm is it to bring him in at that point in time and say, hey, is there a team you'd be interested in? This is your last hurrah. Is there somebody you'd be intrigued by, or that would do a solid by Steve Smith and get a draft pick to boot? To me, that would seem to make sense. At least have the conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Where do you think Steve Smith would be a good fit?
The irony is, where they need him the most is where he's not going.
Carolina.
Back to Carolina.
Maybe they could. Obviously, I don't know what water is underneath that bridge. But man, oh man, that would be a perfect spot, wouldn't it?
No question. And the other thing, the other teams that I'm looking at here are the mess that is the NFC East. Especially with Victor Cruz's injury, you've got put him in there with Odell Beckham, or you could buy Des Bryant some more time, get him in Dallas, and then even in Philadelphia, where their receivers haven't actually lit the world on fire. That's a guy that could really decide who wins the division if you could pull that one off.
So you got a bunch of fans that are already looking maybe to next year, that they see their teams in the NFL aren't faring very well right now, and if they need a quarterback, are you saying right now next year's draft is not where you're going to find one to turn your team around right away? Is that what you're saying?
I want to see more. I want to see more of Paxton Lynch. And look, Jared Goff has just got what he's playing behind offensive line-wise is no good. I think those two guys, to me, are intriguing. That could they could be that guy. They could be that guy. And when I was trying to think of we always ask us for comps on these players. When I was watching Paxton Lynch this morning, the only comp that I could have is he's DirecTV Ryan Mallett versus cable Ryan Mallett.
Nice. I like it. Very good. You know your audience too right now. DJ.
I try to be a company man here, Rich.
Quality move. Law, quick, get him the one that you want to ask him. Go for it.
Temple, everyone's talking Thursday Night Football, Seahawks and UCLA, but Temple goes to 7-0 last night, a big win. They were also an underdog on the road in East Carolina. What do you think of them? Do you give them a fighter's chance against Notre Dame, and do you think Coach Matt Rule might be a hot candidate in the offseason?
There's definitely a lot of buzz on them. They're just a disciplined, sound football team. And I did see the other day that your good buddies Dan and the Danettes were on the sideline for the Notre Dame USC game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's low-hanging fruit, as Mike Mayock would like to say. I think November 21st, Memphis at Temple, which could conceivably be two teams that are on a roll, especially if they can pull it off against Notre Dame. I think you take the Rich Eisen show on the road and go back to Philly.
Yeah, well, Law would love that. You know,
I'm there.
I would love Law. You'd love that, right?
Love it.
I don't know. We may have something else to do, DJ. And all I know is at that time, Brockman, would you roll the windows up for the heat in the car, or would you want the cool Philadelphia late November air to come into the? Because if we roll the windows up, in that situation, Law might have to take his pants down. So maybe that's a windows open
situation.
Just
you guys. Just promise me if it's frigid outside that we don't need to see that picture.
We don't need to see any pictures like this, DJ.
No pictures. Keep your pants on.
Yeah, I think that's a hard and fast rule.
Hey, if the temperate climate's not right, I'll adjust.
Daniel, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rich. Take care.
Move the Sticks.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.